Yo, what's up viewers, it's your boy Blaze Hollow, coming at you again with another What If trailer. This is video 3 out of 5 of the bet series that I made with my friends. I am extremely nervous to make this series because it's based off of one of my favorite powers and from my favorite series. Wish me luck and pray for me, loyal fans. I hope you enjoy What If Deku Ate the Gum Fruit. And to all of my One Piece fans out there, we all know what the real name is. It's just easier to fit on the thumbnail. So let's roll that intro and get into it.
I honestly don't think you can become a hero.
Before any story could be told, it must be created, and when something is created, there is a god at the center of it all. As we find ourselves within a room of solar system and portals, we also see a table with two men sitting at it. One with bright crimson hair in a black suit, chilling in his chair looking over ideas. The other man was leaning back in his chair, looking at a cabinet that looked to be filled with a bunch of different fruits. His hair looked like sunset red as he was wearing a cloak. So, have you decided on what the next scenario is going to be for the mortals of the multiverse, Blaze? Or are you going to just continue to stare at your own papers? Blaze looked up from his notes, annoyed. Well, unlike you, who likes to throw things at the wall until they stick, Kirisho, there are consequences to my actions. I don't need any more of them falling into Discord's hands because I lost connection with them. You need to stop worrying about him. Cut loose, have a little bit of fun. As he gets up from his chair, getting closer to the cabinet that he was looking at, noticing that it was filled with a bunch of different devil fruits. Why not pull a couple of these out and have some fun? Don't you already have at least one universe that's working on that? Blaze looks up a little uneasy. I do, and right now it's on the fence. In my mind, it exists, but it also feels like I made a bunch of bad decisions. He gets up and turns over to a separate cabinet filled with liquor as he opens it and pulls out a 100-year-old bottle of scotch. Would you like a glass? Sure, I wouldn't mind one. Waiting until Blaze was more focused on the drinks, he quickly broke the lock that was on the cabinet in front of him as he started to pick it up, but he noticed Blaze was looking right at him. I'm gonna do it. Don't do it. For the love of the multiverse, put the cabinet down. You don't understand what you're messing with. I'm gonna do it. Don't do it. Blaze tried to lunge for the cabinet, but before he could clear the room, Kirisho broke the cabinet and threw it into a portal that had the devil fruit scattered into one of the possible multiverses. Blaze's eyes went wide when he saw the gum fruit. The devil fruit that he held close to his soul fell into the universe along with a couple others. You maniac! You don't even know what you just did. I gave you a universe where things can run crazy so you can stop doing the same predictable stuff. It's something new. You should be thanking me. You just unleashed a power way above the weight class of this universe, something that could shake it straight to its core. I need to get down there and save it before it gets out of hand. Kirisho watched as Blaze disappeared into the multiverse. As he smirked, he held out one of the devil fruits in his hand. This one needs to go to somebody I care about. As we cut away to a preschool where a lot of children were playing on the playground. Some were playing hopscotch while others were drawing on the ground with chalk. But at the moment we find a green-haired boy sitting underneath a tree with a notebook and a box of crowns as he was trying to sketch a picture of his favorite hero. When I grow up, I want to be just as cool as you, All Might. I'm sure when I get my quirk, it will be something awesome so I can save the day and be there for people that need me. As the boy continues to draw his favorite hero, out of nowhere a fruit drops from the sky right on his head. As it flops onto the ground right between his legs, Izuku rubs the back of his head in pain. As he looks at the weird-looking fruit, looking up at the tree and then looking around, wondering where it came from. As his childlike mind thought about it, maybe it was a sign of his power. Maybe he could grow fruits or something. Wondering what it tastes like, he decides to bite into it and instantly regrets his choices. He nearly spat it out as he dropped the fruit, scraping his tongue, wishing he didn't eat it. Gross, it's rotten. Deku, look out! Izuku turned to see a baseball coming his way, and before he could do anything, it hit him right in the head. But instead of bouncing off him and hurting himself, it curved his face for a few seconds, then snapped right back into place as the ball was shot back at the person who threw it, revealing to be an ashy-haired boy with red eyes. Yo, Deku, looks like you just got your quirk. Izuku was confused by the situation, feeling up his face, wondering what just happened. I don't understand what happened. I felt the ball hit me, but it didn't hurt. If anything, it made my face feel weird. It looks like your face stretched when the ball hit you, and then it just shot back at me. Izuku started to jump up and down in excitement. I finally got my quirk. I can't wait to tell my mom. Bakugo crossed his arms and started to smirk. Well, don't let it go to your head. My power is still better than yours. As both boys laughed, a teacher gathered the both of them as they head inside to contact parents. But as we see on top of the school building, Blaze was sitting in the shadows, annoyed with himself. I was too late. The sun god has entered this world. Now the question is, will this bring them salvation or ruin? I still need to try to find some of the more dangerous ones, but now knowing that the most ridiculous power has been released, is it truly fair for me to remove any of them? As he was contemplating the idea, that's when he heard another child yelling out in pain. As he looked over the little wall from his vantage point, he saw a kid with black hair and pointy teeth holding up another devil fruit. What's this? I don't recognize this kid. He flicks his wrist trying to go over this universe's details. That's when he comes across the name of the child. Oh, so that's young Kirishima before he dyes his hair. Interesting. So in this universe, he goes to the same preschool as those two. The minor changes of the multiverse are truly fascinating. I should quickly take that from him before anything could be done. Kirisho quickly grabbed Blaze and pulled him back out of the universe and back into their special realm. Can't let you do that. I personally made sure that one got to him. It's time that you let a universe go out of hand a little bit. You play too safe. Let them live their lives and have fun. Let the new system take place unless you're scared. I'm not scared, but if you want to mess with my side of the multiverse, it's only fair that I get to do the same to you. Walking over to a closet and pulling out a strange thing of power that's all contained within a screw. I'm sure you know what this is. Kirisho's eyes go wide, taking a step back like he's afraid of this power. Hey now, that's not cool. Let's not do anything drastic. Too late for that. He then chucked the screw into one of the portals that led to Kirisho's side of the multiverse. Enjoy all fiction. That's all your problem now. Screw you, bro. Blaze watches Kirisho quickly disappear back to his own dimension as Blaze grabs a chair and sits right in front of the new universe that's been created within his jurisdiction. Let's move things forward in time. I have many things to watch over. As we jump back into the world a couple of years have passed, Izuku was scribbling down in his notebook while looking over a book of elasticity, not really paying attention as the teacher smacked a ruler on his desk. Izuku, I know it's the last day of middle school and summer's literally minutes away, but that doesn't mean what I have to say isn't important. Izuku scratches the back of his head as he gives a cheeky smile. Sorry, Sensei. Bakugo watches the teacher head back to the front of the classroom and playfully nudges Deku on the shoulder. Caught up in your own little world, rubber boy. Something like that. I was just thinking of heading to the junkyard to practice after school. Do you want to join me, Bakugo? Bakugo cracks his knuckles a little bit. Sure, I'm looking forward to getting another tally mark on the scoreboard. I believe we're at 215 to 214 with me being in the lead. In your dreams, I'm the one with 215 wins. Before either of them could argue any further, the both of them were hit in the head with a piece of chalk by the teacher. Pop quiz, what was I just talking about? Looking over at Bakugo, hoping that he was possibly paying attention. Was it about paying attention in class, Sensei? You know, I will never understand how the both of you have the highest test scores and the best chances of getting into the best school in our country, yet you act like a couple of delinquents. I was literally talking to everybody about career paths. As if being saved by the bell, it started to ring as everybody started to get out of their chairs and head out the door for summer. Unless you were these two idiots who choose to jump out of the window, which Bakugo and Deku were, as they grabbed their bags and leaped right out the nearest window with no hesitation, Bakugo using his explosions to gently land on the ground, to not hurt himself. But Izuku, on the other hand, just wrapped his arms and legs around his back to cushion it as he bounced a little bit once he hit the ground, finally laying on his back right next to Bakugo's feet. Let's hurry up and get out of here before Sensei sticks his head out the window yelling about us having detention or something. Don't have to ask me twice. The both of them started running towards the gate as quickly as possible, not wanting to deal with any more school until summer was over. But just before they got out the gate, they could hear somebody yelling behind them. Hey, wait up you guys, you almost left without me again. As the both of them looked behind them, noticing their red-headed friend Kirishima running towards them, Bakugo decided to run a little faster. Then keep up with us, rocks for brains. Izuku smiled as he took off his shoes real quick and put them into his bag as he started to bounce forward to pick up speed. Come on, Kirishima, be a part of the earth. You could be anywhere you choose to be, but you still choose to be slower than the both of us. Kirishima smirks as he dips his foot into the stone real quick, giving him full manipulation of it as he has the stone grab onto Bakugo's ankle, stopping him in place so he can finally be able to catch up with the both of them. Look, it's not my fault that I was behind the both of you. Not all of us can jump out of a window to dodge all the traffic, so are we going to train at the junkyard today? Yeah, Bakugo wanted a rematch so he could finally tie his score with mine. Bakugo blasted the stone hand that was keeping him in place as he punched Izuku in the back of the head, making it bounce around like an out-of-control slinky cranky. You mean you're trying to fight me again to tie the score? Hiroshima had a big smile on his face. Last time I checked, the both of you were still 2 points behind me, so why don't you try to catch up with my score before you try to break your own tie between you two? Bakugo got annoyed by the comment, decided to say something that would even make this sturdy wall start shaking. So did you finally ask Pinky out? I know you've been thinking about her for a while. Well, I haven't had the chance to ask her. She's been busy. And we have this discussion on the way to the junkyard, guys. If you're going to fight, at least let us do it in our normal area. Bakugo quickly puts Kirishima in a headlock as they start moving towards the junkyard. I guess Deku's got a point, so when do you think you're gonna find the right time to finally ask her out, man? You've had eyes on her ever since we were little. It's not that simple. She's completely out of my league. She's so popular and I'm nobody. Izuku bounces off of his ass as he was following behind the both of them. Technically, aren't we all nobody until we talk to somebody, and that's when we become somebody? What are you talking about? Well, hear me out on this, guys. Until we truly let our presence be known, we are nobody, but once we are known, we are somebody. Have you been listening to those philosophical shorts on YouTube again? Izuku stopped bouncing as he kinda started looking down at the ground a little bit embarrassed. They have some encouraging words. Sometimes they make sense to me. Either way, Rocks for Brains gotta be put into a situation that's gonna force him to talk to her, or else we're going to be playing this game of will they, won't they for the rest of our lives. Well, I think we can help out with that situation. She's right over there being harassed by that giant guy over there. Both of them looked where Izuku was pointing as they saw the gigantic hooded figure as his hand was digging into the side of the building, trying to ask something of the girls, but it seemed like he was partially not listening. He couldn't understand them as they all looked terrified for their lives. Let's get in there and help the ladies. Mine. As Izuku charges in with no thoughts in mind, throwing his arm back, stretching for about a mile. Gum pistol! As the punch hits into the mysterious figure, the man barely moves an inch, almost looking like he was a part of the building himself. No way, he didn't even budge. Bakugo was a few seconds behind him as he leaped into the sky and blasted his explosions at the figure, trying to get him to stumble away from the girls. But even then, the figure didn't move as he swatted Bakugo into the pavement. Ow! This guy's like an immovable wall. What the heck has he been doing with his life to be able to be this strong? Do either of you know where the nearest police station is? Izuku and Bakugo looked at each other confused by the question, but while they were trying to keep the big guy's attention on them, Kirishima was using his stone manipulation to move the pieces of pavement beneath the girls' feet, gently sliding them away from the battlefield, trying to get them to safety in a nearby alleyway. As the girls were then safely placed inside the alleyway, one of them with pink skin noticed a red-haired boy running past as he started to get bigger with stone-like armor. Hey ugly, back off my friends, as he slams the concrete punch right into the figure's chest, causing the gigantic man to actually take a step back. But instead of looking like he took damage from the stone arm, it crumbled, leaving a stump where the hand used to be. Oh god, we might have just bitten off more than we can chew. I ask again, where is the nearest police station? He punches the stone armor, not only breaking it, but sending Kirishima flying into one of the nearby buildings. You're being annoying. Kirishima, not liking to see one of his his friends get severely hurt, he stretches his arm back for another punch, but this time he flicks his arm a little bit to give it a barrage-like feel. Gum gum rifle! As the barrage of fists punch right into the figure, all it does is bounce off of him. As he finally pulls his arm back to normal, Izuku gets an idea, hoping that it works. Come on, big guy, follow me to the police station. It's this way. Bouncing and laughing, trying to keep all the attention on him as he starts to head towards a more public area, hoping that there will be pro heroes waiting for them there. Come on, big guy, don't you want the police? Finally, somebody useful. As he starts to follow the bouncy ball that is Izuku, Bakugo finally getting back onto his feet, but barely. Hiroshima, you dead in there? Are you? As he stumbles out of the building covered in small rocks that used to be his armor as they fall from his skin. We gotta help Izuku. Bakugo bites his lip, feeling toxic for his own voice for what he's about to say. He is going to be fine. He has the best chance out of all of us to survive long enough. We need to go and get the attention of a pro hero. But we can't just leave him out there to fight alone. And if we go after him, we're gonna just be more liabilities. He broke through your stone armor like it was paper. He bashed me out of the sky like I was nothing. At least Izuku has a rubber body. So blunt damage doesn't do much to him. The worst the guy can do is just knock him around. Alright, then let's get moving. We go back to Izuku, bouncing and laughing around the gigantic figure, continuing to lead him towards a more public area. Come on, this way. I'm sure the police are going to look forward to meeting you. As he starts to think to himself, there has to be a pro hero around here somewhere, someone that can at least put a dent in this guy. The man starts to get annoyed, realizing that he's been taken a few blocks away from where he was, but there doesn't seem to be a police station nearby. Getting enraged, he tried to grab Izuku but failed. Rubber pest, you're not leading me to where I need to go. Of course not. Obviously you have plans for the police station, but what are you going to do about it? Get more lost? He then bounces off one of the buildings. As he was mid-air, he kicks his leg back as far as he could and then shoots it right at the enemy's face. Gum gum stump! The gigantic man was starting to get annoyed as he continued to grab and swing at this bouncy boy, only for after a few minutes he started to know that people were crowding around them, taking pictures and watching the young man bounce through the danger of the gigantic man. As the man then finally felt like he had a chance to grab Izuku's body, but his arm got covered by a bunch of tree roots, stopping the gigantic man in his tracks. Izuku saw his two closest friends along with a couple of pro heroes. Looks like you guys made it in time. You are very brave, young man, but leave the rest to the pros. Izuku felt himself being held up by a bunch of threads as he was placed on top of a building right next to the number 3 hero Best Jeanist. I have to say, laughing through all this definitely shows signs of a hero. Thanks, but who is this guy? He keeps on saying he wants to go to a police station. We found him with a bunch of girls from our school that were being harassed by him. We tried to take care of the situation, but we failed. Don't worry, your friends gave us the lowdown on everything. Just get to safety like the both of them and let the pros handle this. Izuku nods and understands as he jumps off the side of the building into one of the nearby alleyways, hoping to reconnect with both of his friends away from this place. But as he was running through the alleyway, he came past a man with a strange hairstyle and white suit, who is pushing his glasses back as he quickly taps the boy on the back. The strange man almost looked like he saw something he couldn't believe, looking back at the boy who was running with a big smile on his face. Could he be the one? It took Izuku a few minutes, but but he finally reconnected with his friends, who instead of going to the junkyard like they planned, decided to stop by a nearby arcade to get some pizza and relax because their bodies all hurt after the incident. As they finally slid into the booth, that's when a pink-skinned girl from earlier rushed over to their table. "Hey, I'm glad I was able to find you three. I wanted to say thank you for saving our lives earlier." Bakugo had a smirk on his face. "No problem, but the real hero was the one who got you out of there, wasn't it, Kirishima? Why don't you join us? We have an extra seat anyway." Izuku starts chuckling. "Yeah, Mina, join us. It would be fun ordering pizza. There's an extra seat right next to Kirishima." Mina smiled as she took the seat right next to Kirishima, giving him a quick hug. "Thank you for saving me." Kirishima's face turned bright red as steam started to form on top of his head, overloaded by the sensation as he finally just fell back in his seat. "You're welcome." Mina got worried for Kirishima as he started to look completely out of it as she started to shake him gently. "Oh my god, are you more hurt than I thought? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you with that hug." "Trust me when I tell you, even if his entire skeleton was broken, he'd rather get that hug from you no matter what." Izuku was looking over the menu while this conversation was happening. "Do you think we should get nachos as an appetizer?" "We got nachos last time as an appetizer. We're gonna get the mozzarella sticks instead. Can't we just get both? Are you going to pay for it?" Izuku backed down, realizing he wouldn't have enough cash to get food and play arcade games. Though he didn't want to argue, Bakugo was able to get a waiter to come over and take their order. As they wait for their food to come, Bakugo grabs Izuku by the back of his shirt, trying to lead the potential lovers at the table. Quickly making themselves scared, they hide behind one of the nearby arcade games without being noticed. "So, do you think he will ask her out?" "We can only hope. If this isn't the perfect time, I don't know what is." But that's where I'm gonna leave it off this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this trailer. I know it's a little bit all over the place, and it's not as action-packed as it could have been, but this is the direction I wanted to go. I really wanted this series to be about a bunch of friends, silly adventures, and feeling like they could just be themselves. I know all of that sounds cheesy and corny, but it's what I like, so with all that said, I'm out. Peace.